Let's see how this plays out.
Once upon a time, you and all your kind lived underneath bridges.
Get it? Because you're a troll?
Had ridges for ribs that dropped off into empty chests as if your hearts were all stolen treasures. As if an excavation crew were hired to dig up and remove the part of you that let you feel. And while the world above you invented the wheel, you stayed put, knowing it would one day need to roll over top of you to get to where it's going. You had an endlessly flowing supply line of food. You began to brood over humanity and make meals of our hope, as if crushing our spirits would make your mirrors cast better reflections than the ones they gave. As if the only way you could save yourselves was to make the world ugly so no one would notice you hiding in it.
It seems like you're talking about cyberbullying, not trolling. Trolling is something completely different. Remember when this fake internet character Cassidy Boone trolled the whole world when she said she passed out on a diving board, went unconscious under the water, and somebody saved her, and she was going to sue the person that saved her life because he touched her without her consent? That was her little way of making fun of social justice warriors. Now that's trolling. She trolled the world. Everybody thought that shit was real. Also, trolling is just being annoying, being disruptive, trying to get an emotional response out of people. A quick one, right? You're not trying to destroy their lives and bully them weeks on end. That's completely different. What you're talking about is cyberbullying.
So this whole troll metaphor is stupid. You shouldn't be using a troll. This video also shouldn't be called troll.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dapperton, but can't trolls become cyberbullies?
Well, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, Doodletones, but can't a rapist become a serial killer? Does that make them the same things? No, but according to your logic it does.
After all, they are trying to get an emotional response from you, and one of the ways to do so is to poke as much as they can when a person is at their most vulnerable. It can take something to an extreme where, as Shane put it, is trying to turn the world ugly so they can hide undetected. And that's assuming that he's not using the term troll as a metaphor for cyberbullies. You could argue that maybe it's not the best metaphor one could use, and that you do, but the fact of the matter is, he has started this poem talking about the mythical trolls. He also does kind of specify the kinds of people he's referring to in this section, metaphor or not, by mentioning the people this poem is directed towards. Don't care, want to feed on those who are at their lowest and take satisfaction in doing so, something that may have caused the pretty vague internet troll term to appear in the first place, considering there's no agreed upon origin of the term.
No, it's pretty agreed upon. Trolling is just taking the piss out of somebody. That's it. It's not bullying them. That's something different. Bullying is bullying. Trolling is trolling. They're different things. Yes, people try to confuse the two, or people do confuse the two, but it doesn't make them the fucking same thing.
And hey, third theory. He's using the term troll in the sense of Norse mythology, which were at base level demons, something that we could use to describe cyberbullies in a very poetic way. It's almost like this is creative writing and poetry 101.
Wait. You're saying that he's not comparing normal internet trolls with fucking literal trolls, you know, to make a metaphor? Instead, you're saying that he's comparing cyberbullies to trolls that are demons? Yeah, I call bullshit on that. What a weak point.
You learned to knit pain into a kind of camouflage. Treated hope like a mirage that you could use to lure in your next meal. You lived off of our fears if you could taste what we feel.
Look at that. They show a picture of a troll eating a person's feelings. Again, this is not a troll. This is a cyberbully. There's a difference.
Okay, but you continue to act like trolls can't do that. Never mind the fact that this could continue off of the previous hypothetical metaphors that Shane often uses in his writings. The idea that trolls can't cross a line and troll a person at the wrong place and the wrong time is a really extremely neglectful idea that if you have, yeah, could very well hurt Shane's poetry, but only if you have that idea. Yes, it's stupid to say that they're both the exact same thing, but it's stupid to believe that they can't intertwine from time to time.
Just because they intertwine and have similarities doesn't mean they're fucking interchangeable. They are different terms. They have different meanings. They are different things.
It's stupid if you have either extreme views. Go figure.
And cyberbullies just use mean words. That's all they do. Who gives a... I mean, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words could never hurt you. I mean, have you ever heard that? It's true. Stop being a little bitch.
And nosedive. Hey, Dapperton, you want to know what you just did to your previous statement that you made just like 20 seconds ago? You made your differentiation of trolls and cyberbullies irrelevant. Totally moot. Null and void. If there's no difference because neither can hurt you, why get on his case for not making a differentiation when you're just going to say that it doesn't matter? Like, I'm honestly surprised you never caught on to that. If you're going to use your badass debunking skills on this poem, the least you could do is not have a self-defeating argument. Try again.
Okay, he confused trolls with cyberbullies. I said cyberbullies are fucking not that big of a deal. Neither are trolls. How is any of that self-defeating?
Every night, as the moon read bedtime stories to sunlight, you took darkness as an invite to head out into the world. You curled your hands into wrecking balls. Your breath became squalls. You made rocks rumble. You made land shiver. You made boys and girls pray that someone would deliver them from you. We told them you aren't real. And then one day, the world changed. But you all stayed the same. just migrated from living underneath bridges to living underneath information superhighways. Days and nights became meaningless. Each already deepened chest became an abyss that no one would ever find the bottom of. Concepts like love fell into your gravity. We turned ourselves into life preservers, hoping to save as many as we could. But the fathers who stood guarding closet doors and the mothers who secured the floors underneath beds all shook their heads, not knowing how to deal with you.
Look, if your kids can't handle mean words, they shouldn't get on the internet. Hell, they shouldn't even go outside because they're gonna hear mean words.
No, that's not the point, you dingbat. Yes, a kid's gonna hear harsh words in reality. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But you do realize kids at a certain age won't know how to deal with those harsh words and in fact get into fights because of it, right? Playground fistfights do occur because someone at recess told someone else that they were a dummy face, or fuck, whatever kids in 2017 uses actual insults in playgrounds. Faggot, maybe. I don't know. Point is, kids are still developing and won't know instinctively that words should just be brushed off and tossed to the side. You can't really toss in the they shouldn't be online because even in 2014 there was a huge focus on using the internet for information and utility of it in public schools. In other words, they can't simply avoid being online.
Obviously, what I was talking about was not avoiding the internet completely, but mostly social media. Stay away from social media if you can't handle being social. But here you are acting like avoiding social media is an impossibility. That's bullshit. There's no teacher that'll put a gun up to your head and force you to get on Facebook and chat. In fact, I believe that they think that you should probably do your schoolwork. And all I said was to fucking handle it, right? When you do hear mean words. Handle it. You're saying, oh, well, it makes kids fight. Well, like I said, handle it. Brush it aside. You said, well, kids don't know how to brush it aside. That's why I said the parents should teach them to brush it aside. That's my whole point throughout the entire video, is that it's the parents' job to teach kids to handle bullying. To build up some sort of defense so bullies can't hurt them anymore. But you had to ignore every fucking point I made up to this point to make your goddamn point. Good job.
Avoid being online.
If mean words cripple them, then they need a mental health professional or they need a man up. One of the two. But what do you propose? Oh, well, we got some weak people, so we should just change everybody around the world and just make everybody not mean anymore. That's never gonna happen.
Alright, now you're just putting words into his mouth.
He made a video shaming cyberbullies. Obviously, he's saying, stop being a bully. And that doesn't work. That's my point. What I said makes complete fucking sense.
He's not saying that the world should change around with these people who don't know how to react to trolls and cyberbullies. In fact, the poem ends with,
We are stuck with you. The same way you are stuck with you. Your mind is glue and it keeps malice fastened there like cheap wallpaper. We were once upon a time told that none of you exist. We dismissed you as make-believe or myth. Now, armed only with resolve, we can no longer afford to tell ourselves that you aren't real. We will not let you make your dinners out of the things we feel.
which isn't really speaking out against the trolls and cyberbullies to change, but more speaking on behalf of the people who fall victim to them.
It says don't let these bullies make a meal out of your feelings. And then it shows that you should block them. Look, that's a nice touch. But it doesn't change the fact this entire video damns bullies, acting like that's a real solution. And then it also damns freedom of speech, which happens towards the end. That's inexcusable. These are bad solutions. And nothing you've said has changed that.
Basically saying that they will continue to fight against the potential damage both parties can do. Where do you get off shoving intent and words into the mouths of others? Also, keep the "they need a mental health professional" in your mind, guys. It'll be important later.
That's never gonna happen. Make your kids grow some balls. That's what you need to do. Stop trying to change the world to adapt to your kids. Instead, make your kids adapt to the world. But that requires me to actually parent my kids. Parent your kids. Stop being a fucking pussy. I'm tired of the pussification of this nation.
You're totally rational and reasonable, aren't you? Alright, this particular point of the poem is saying that trolling and cyberbullying is still a newish issue in 2014 that not quite everyone knows how to deal with, which kind of hurts the teach your kids how to deal with it spiel you're trying to blast Shane with. Because if parents themselves don't know how to deal with it, how the fuck are they going to teach their kids about it? It's not pussification, it's being uninformed.
What the fuck are you talking about? Bullying has existed since the beginning of time, okay? So why would internet bullying be any different? It's not. You handle it the same goddamn way. What you need to do is unbunch your panties, right? Get your panties out of a bunch and let your balls drop. You know, man up a bit.
You, who crept into our lives with tongues like knives stabbing your words into our skin. You began uploading yourselves into our homes. You had computer screens for eyes and software for bones. You turned your hate into stones and hurled them at beauty as if you couldn't bear to see anything other than ugly, anything different. You had fingernails like flint and scraped them along decency, hoping we would be the ones to all catch fire. You all had smiles like one-way barbed wire, not meant to keep us out, meant to keep us in. Voice like a firing pin, you spoke in explosions. It isn't cute. It isn't funny.
I mean, it's a little bit funny. You can't handle words. That says something about you. You're spineless. That's pretty humorous.
Oh my god, you cannot be this fucking dense. Alright, Diet Anarchy Ball, let me break down the clip you just played because clearly you continue to not understand imagery and metaphor.
And you can't seem to understand that I'm not fucking Anarchy Ball.
So what Shane is actually describing here is something called the illusory truth effect, which is the tendency to believe repeated statements despite how false they are. If a cyberbully, because fuck deciphering the two when the differences don't matter in this world you've created.
I told you there was a difference. There's a big fucking difference between the two. That's one of my main points throughout the video. Sure, criticizing either is stupid in my eyes, but that doesn't make me hypocritical. Those aren't contrasting views.
If a cyberbully were to continue to repeat the phrase "you're fat" over and over again to a person, even if they are not fat, eventually the repetitious statements will stick onto a person's brain and they may believe that, actually yes, they are fat, which could be damaging to a person who is underweight. That is something words can do.
Then they have a weak self-esteem and they need to, as I said before, seek a mental health professional. The other solution that I recommended was to man up. One of the two. Either works, okay? But you're saying neither works? Bullshit. Both solutions are perfectly fine and they will solve the problem. Shaming the bully, saying, oh, cyberbullies are bad, isn't going to do anything because you're not going to shame cyberbullies out of existence.
That's why this extreme bugs me. It's ignorant. And to continue off of the fat, underweight person example I gave, that person could do a number of things to try to fix their fictional chub. Anorexia comes to mind. That person would be really hurting themselves physically because they were led to believe that they were too fat. That's what Shane is trying to imply in this poem. Shown in the lines, you crept into our lives with tongues like knives stabbing words into our skin, and you had smiles like one-way barbed wire not meant to keep us out, meant to keep us in. Believe it or not, Dapperton, words can lead to self-harm.
Yes, as I said before, if they have low self-esteem and they need to seek a mental health professional and they don't, yes, words could be damaging. But that's why I recommend that they go seek a mental health professional if they have low self-esteem. I love how you conveniently forget that. You conveniently forget everything. Look, do I think bullying is wrong? Yes, of course it's wrong. But you know what? You should teach your kids to have a backbone instead of just yelling at the bad guys saying, stop being bad. That's not going to do anything. You need to teach your kids to be able to handle mean words.
Now let me stop right here. You know, I may have been arguing Dapperton very vehemently here leading up to this point, but at the end of the day, I do want to clarify, I actually do partially agree with the statement. Yes, you should teach kids how to deal with harsh name-calling and nuisances similar. It would help them not be as frail by the end of the day. But that said, you should also teach those who are bullying what damage they can cause.
I agree. But what does this video do? Towards the end of the poem, it starts damning freedom of speech. Yeah, that's bullshit.
Most people see this kind of lesson as just be a fucking decent human being, and especially to kids who don't actually understand that bullying isn't actually right or use it as a way to project insecurities onto others. Show them what they could actually drive a person to do, and they may lay off the idea that calling little Billy down the block a stupid faggot is a harmless and good idea.
It's like the whole feminist argument. Oh, well, teach your kids not to rape. Well, no one's teaching their kids to fucking rape. No one's teaching their kids to bully.
Holy crap, we're diving into this territory, aren't we? And you don't even understand the feminists' argument. The feminists don't say that, yeah, people are teaching to rape, and on the off chance that they are, they're retarded. But
they do, and they are.
the general way that I hear the teach them not to rape argument used is normally to say if you teach them that rape is wrong, then they'll stop doing it.
No. I guess you don't know this, but feminists believe there's a rape culture where people are being taught to rape. That's a real thing. Look up rape culture.
Even though most rapists know it's wrong anyway, but do it over a vast variety of reasons that even Jezebel understood. And we all know that place sucks for information, but details. The point is, no one is saying people are teaching kids to rape.
Yes, there are.
And Shane's not saying that people are teaching kids to bully.
I disagree. I believe that he believes there's a fucking bully culture out there that you could just shame out of existence. Just like feminists think they could shame rape out of existence. You say, oh, just teach them that it's wrong. They fucking already know it's wrong. There's not a person in this world that doesn't know rape is wrong. That bullying is wrong. They simply don't give a fuck. So shaming them ain't gonna do shit. Instead, you need to build up your defenses from rapists. Buy a gun. You need to build up your defense against bullies. Grow some balls. Or seek mental help.
Knock it off and stop shoving in arguments that you're on autopilot to debunk. It isn't working here.
You've talked strangers into death and laughed.
I'm sure if they found out they talked a stranger into death, they wouldn't laugh. Nobody would find that funny. And if somebody does suicide, believe me, it has more to do with what's going on in their head and their past experiences than it does have to do with mean words. Mean words isn't what fucking made them commit suicide. It was everything that led up to that. So don't blame cyberbullies and mean words for the full suicide. They were just the final straw.
And if mere mean words are enough to send somebody over the edge to commit suicide, then the internet is the last place on earth they should be. Instead, they should be spending their time with the mental health professional, getting their demons sorted out so they no longer have these problems.
Holy shit. You took out context. The poem continues as such.
You've talked strangers into death and laughed. And as each family learns to graft skin over the wounds you gave them, you hem yourselves into the scar.
Okay, you finished the rest of the statement and I didn't remove any context. What the hell are you talking about? That was a full fucking statement. That was a full sentence. No context removed whatsoever. Yes, he says something later, right? A sentence later from now. But that doesn't even contradict what I said before. So I didn't remove context.
You have coaxed the sober back into bars, handed out cigars at memorials, offered nooses, cliffs, and pills to those who unfortunately found you before they found help.
Shane even specifies that these people who are driven to suicide may not have yet found help before they found the troll or cyberbully.
Okay, listen. I said they should seek mental help. I didn't say they did seek mental help. Okay? You're acting like as if I said that he did seek mental help and I just crafted and changed the context. I didn't. Yes, later on, after what I said, he said that they couldn't seek mental help. But that's why I said they should avoid the internet if they can't seek mental help. Nothing what I said there contradicts what he says in the future. So there's no contradiction, there's no manipulation of the context. I don't know what the fuck you are talking about.
It's not like it's exactly easy to find a therapist, at least not in America, where you have to dish out on average anywhere from $75 to $150 an hour. And that's even assuming the depressed always want to reach out for help. Some of the symptoms for people with major depression include anxiety, apathy, hopelessness, fatigue, and social isolation, which are symptoms that would cause someone with major depression to struggle in getting help that they may or may not feel like getting, despite how much they need to. You're assuming that everyone has that easy ability to get help. They don't. For some, it's harder and takes more time. And with that time, a troll could show up and be that straw.
I gave two solutions. Stay off the internet or seek mental help. Obviously, the solution here is to stay off the internet if they can't seek mental help. Duh. Why do I even need to explain that? What the fuck? So, mean words will no longer drive them to suicide. That's a real solution. Running around to people saying, stop being a meanie, isn't going to change anything. Nor will demonizing free speech.
I continue to not believe that you are making these arguments. Alright, let's talk free speech. That thing that only protects you from governmental consequences and not consequences from other people.
Freedom of speech is a principle that every citizen should hold, right? Everything should be in the spirit of freedom of speech. Now, the government isn't the only thing that upholds that. Society tries to uphold it as well.
That thing that's totally irrelevant for what's being said in Shane's poem at this particular time and never demonizes throughout his poem. Sure, let's talk about that.
Oh yeah? They never damned freedom of speech? Not even once? Let's see about that. Let's fast forward a couple minutes.
Dashed through police tape as if it were the finish line in a race of who can be awful first. Even now, you somehow see this as an invitation to turn your keyboards into catapults, wondering which one of you can be the first to hate this best. You're loathing, already dressed in riot gear, ready to incite rage, as if each message board is a stage where you recite hostility, turning freedom of speech into freedom of cruelty.
Did you just equate freedom of speech to freedom of cruelty?
Yes, he is. But he's doing this because trolls hide behind their right of freedom of speech whenever they're called out for harassment. Something I've experienced firsthand with a video I made in August of last year. But without using dead drama as anecdotal evidence, there's your video, where you have constantly tried to perpetuate the notion that Shane wants freedom of speech taken away, which is dumb. A lot of this video in whole is just that. Pinning the responsibility on one side when the other side can also take initiative did not antagonize those who are simply existing.
See, I knew this video was garbage. I knew I was right to criticize it. Hell yeah. What are you saying, basically? People will say things I don't like on the internet. Grow a fucking pair of balls, you bitch.
Alright, Dapperton, let me level with you. Shane's video is not the one that's garbage. Yours is. And so might be mine, but yours definitely is. You don't understand metaphor, or you seem to not understand metaphor, you don't know lyrical comprehension, and you have force-fed Shane so frequently that I begin to wonder if you're a political commentator or a bad father abusing their child because they want them to have some meat on their bones. You're an extreme. Your whole video is an ideological extreme, and while I don't feel you care, you should if you're wanting to get across your ideals better.
I do what I want, bitch. If you like my video, remember to smash that motherfucking subscribe button and also that motherfucking like button. Catch you on the next episode.
Everything should be free.
Free, huh? Would you like a free helicopter ride?
You're damn skippy.
So, how do you feel about Karl Marx?
Oh, I love Marx. I survived, but god damn it hurt.
Yeah! How do you like them marks, bitch? The episode you just watched was completely funded by my Patreons who donate to me. If you would like to see more similar content, please consider donating to my Patreon as well. Link in the description box. If you can't donate anything, even $1 a month, then just consider smashing that like button. That helps too. Catch you on the next episode.